Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Grief Drums, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the Year 5 Season 1 patch notes for Operation Void Edge. This room is freezing. So hopefully you're all holding up alright with COVID-19 being what it is. Hopefully the self-isolation isn't getting to you too much. Personally, I'm loving it. But anyway, one thing I'm not loving is the Year 5 Season 1 patch notes. I'm not enjoying these at all. These are only on the test server for the moment. However, how many times has stuff gone up onto the test server and just been left exactly as it is, despite the community kicking off royally? Now, as most of you are probably aware, there's some pretty big changes coming as part of these test notes, and some of them are pretty good, some of them make sense, and some of them are just outright crazy. It's stuff that I never ever thought I would see added into the game, and quite frankly, it's stuff that I'm not too keen about being changed in the game. But nevertheless, the devs, you know, it's their game. They have the stats. They can back up every decision that they're making, I'm assuming. So, you know, let's just roll with the punches and take a look at what exactly is going on. Now, this went live yesterday on the 31st. It didn't go live on the 1st. It's not on April Fool's. Initially, when I saw this yesterday, I was trying to figure out the time zones. And I was like, what time is it in Montreal right now? Because is this... No, this can't be real. It's real. It is 100% real. So first up, the biggest change that a lot of people seem to be kicking off about yesterday is the fact that Jager is changing to a 2-2 operator. He is going to be 2 armor, 2 speed. He's not going to be the nippy dude that he was. He's not going to be able to zip all around the map after just dumping his ADS. And with the addition of Wamai into the game, it's quite clear that the devs want to see more use for Wamai over the top of Jager. They've written here that he's a very strong roamer, and multiple data points demonstrate his huge presence in the game. To make his presence a bit less oppressive in the game, we're looking to moderate that by reducing his roaming potential. Now, let's be real. Is reducing him from a 3-speed to a 2-speed going to reduce anything about Jager other than the way he can move around the map? Even then, it's not going to change that much. He's still going to get picked just as much. He's still going to be a drop the ADS, forget about them and run off sort of operator. And the fact that he can't traverse the map quite as fast probably is going to pale in insignificance. You may have noticed that in the Pro League, not all Jagers are even running around and roaming on the map. They're playing behind these shields. So across varying different levels, you're getting various different playstyles for Jager. Maybe in gold tier, you will see nothing but a Jager spawn peeking at the beginning of the round, because that's kind of what people do with Jager. It's not necessary. It doesn't provide any benefit to the team. And if I'm completely honest, Jager probably isn't the best person to be doing it. But nevertheless, it still happens. If you go on and move on to Pro League, though, Jager is being taken not over Wamai, but as well as Wamai. And the reason for that is the fact that there is so much utility for attackers to burn now. In the fact that you get 3 Goyo shields, 2 Maestro Evil Eyes, that's 5 things potentially that you're going to need to remove before you can actually push onto the site. Couple that with things like Mozzies and mute jammers, or, you know, something along those lines. It's very, very difficult for attackers to drone out areas of the map. So explosives are extremely handy to do this from range. Now, you go ahead and add in a Jager and a Wamai, that becomes very, very difficult to do. So this change in itself, I don't think is going to change anything. Jager and Wamai are still going to get picked just as much as they are. And I feel like this is a real waste of a change. It's not going to do anything. Nevertheless, I'm not angry about it. It doesn't really affect me. It doesn't bother me. And quite frankly, the people that are kicking off on Twitter, try and be constructive. Try and provide more constructive feedback rather than just berating the devs. So with Jager being adjusted, so is Ying. For some reason, the devs seem quite keen to push Ying and to get her back into the meta. So what they've done is they've increased the number of Candelas from 3 up to 4. She now has 4 of these things. They've also gone ahead and replaced her claymores with smokes, and they've increased her T95 LSW damage from 43 up to 46. That is huge. That weapon already has 81 rounds, so to be able to fire 46 damage per shot is crazy. You couple that with the amount of utility she's now got, she can burn the ADSs, she can then throw the smoke grenades in, and she will still have Candelas over to push. Ying is like pretty much a one-man army now. And I find this move really strange, because over the past few seasons, the devs have moved in a direction so as to stop operators from being able to do everything themselves. And I kind of feel like Ying is starting to sort of move back into that category of being able to do it all. Yes, she does not have soft breach capability, but let's face facts, someone on the team will have. Once the walls are open or, the castle barricades are down, Ying is going to do everything. Personally, for me, the only reason I don't take Ying and the only reason I'm not keen on taking Ying is the inconsistency of the Candelas. So it's going to be interesting to see whether she is actually more viable. Other operators that have loads of utility in the form of Mozzie. Mozzie's actually losing his super shorty. They think that he's too good at everything, basically. He can open stuff up. He can, deny an area. He can capture the drones. He can get the intel. He can actually go off roaming, create all of these rotations. So they've sort of nerfed him a little bit in the removal of that. But now with Castle having it, it's still going to be present on the team. Other shotguns that have been affected are Kaid and Goyo's TCSG 12. This, at the moment, can kill with about 2 shots. It is a beast of a weapon, and I absolutely love using it. But I think it does take a little bit of skill. Not everyone can use the TCSG. I can't speak for console players. I don't know what the recoil control is like, but in the past, I know that people really struggle to utilize this weapon. Obviously, in a Pro League setting, we're seeing it used to great effect. It is an extremely powerful weapon, and it's always going to be the pick over the other weapons that these operators have got, or at least 90% of the time it's going to be. So what they've done is they've gone ahead and reduced the damage of these weapons from 84 down to 55. Well, that is quite a drop. Now, to counteract the fact that this is going to take extra shots to put people down, the devs have gone ahead and added an extra magazine per operator. It's going to be interesting to see if that does anything, to be honest. Another change is Kavera. They've added the Razor holographic sight to her M12. This is the slightly chunkier holographic sight. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to make much of a difference to Kavera, to be honest, but having the extra options there is definitely not going to hurt. But now for the biggest, and quite frankly for me, probably the worst change out of this whole thing. Strap yourself in, because if you don't already know about this, Buck is losing his frag grenades. Yes, you heard me right. Buck is losing his frag grenades. And quite frankly, I am both gutted and devastated by this. I don't really understand it. I mean, that is what Buck is since he first came out in Black Ice. He is the guy that opens up the lines of sight from above and he throws grenades down through it to clear people out. That is his job. So what they've gone ahead and done is they've increased the skeleton key ammo, his underbarrel shotgun. They've increased the amount of ammo that he's got. The skeleton key magazine capacity has been increased to 5+1. The skeleton key max ammo count is now 25+1. So he can now open up a lot more lines of sight, but he's not necessarily going to be able to do quite as much with them, as now instead of having the grenade, he's going to be utilizing a claymore. Now the claymore is reasonably beneficial. It's going to allow him to be able to put that down when he goes upstairs and not really worry about what's coming up behind him. He's instead going to be able to focus on opening the floor and shooting down through it. For me though, I'm gutted. I don't really like it at all. I don't like this change in the slightest, and it's probably the worst one out of all of these patch notes. Now you can argue that there are so many operators with grenades now. I mean, there is a ridiculous number of grenades available to attackers, but I don't think this is the right move to try and get their pick rate up. At the minute, to deal with all of the utility that the defenders can bring, you need explosives, and let's be real, you kind of need a Buck as well to be able to create those lines of sight from above. He is one of those operators that is pretty much a staple on the majority of maps and the majority of sites. And whether that's because he's too good, I'm not sure is the case. It may just well be the case that the other operators that are available to us aren't good enough. Now, if you watch my tips and tricks videos, you will know that Sledge in certain areas of the map can actually sledge up from below and take out sections of the roof. But 9 times out of 10, Buck is going to be better than Sledge in that sort of environment. So Buck's pick rate is definitely going to be higher, there is no doubt about it. Sledge is a lot more vulnerable when opening sections of the floor to look down. He will open up a square, and then he will have to move forward and sledge again and open up another square, whereas Buck can quite literally just stand at one side of the room and just shotgun as he moves down the room to clear out entire strips of the site below. But I don't think that removing his grenades is going to increase the pick rate of ops like Nook or Iana or anyone like that. And quite frankly, I don't think that's the right play. I don't think, giving those ops grenades and to try and make them, fit better into the team is really the best way to go. Is it that their gadget is lacking and needs to be improved? Is it that their weapons are weak and need to be improved? I don't know, but, you know, nerfing the ops that are potentially fun for people and, you know, good at what they do, making them bad at what they do or worse, I'll be honest, I don't feel it. I really don't. I'd love to know what you guys think. Are you happy with these changes? Do they, you know, really hack you off? What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Which one is the worst change and which one is the best change? Do you think we're likely to see these come across from the test server? Or do you think with the outcry from the community all over Twitter and Reddit that we're not going to actually see the, you know, Buck loses grenades or the Jager being changed to a 2-2? Let me know. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider hitting that thumbs up. If you don't already, make sure to subscribe for all things Rainbow Six. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay reckless and relentless.